Am I audible to everyone? Am I audible? Okay. Right. So let us start our today's session. Uh, what are the various classes and the methods that are used while developing MapReduce program? Right. So as you all aware of that, whenever we are writing a MapReduce program to solve a particular problem, so the three things which we have to done. One is develop the mapper logic to process the given input, and whatever the intermediary results that the mapper logic has produced, so those need to be supplied as an inputs to the reducer logic, because that is the phase where we are consolidate all the reports, and finally you need to produce the final output. So for that you need to develop another logic called as reducer logic. With the help of that reducer logic we will produce the outputs, final outputs. Okay. In order to do execute both mapper and reducer logic in a proper way, we are supposed to develop the a driver code. That is the main program which we need to develop. So in such a way, we need to develop three different codes. One is mapper code, reducer code, and driver code. Okay, for every program which you are going to be implemented using Java, you are supposed to write these three parts for every program, right? As a part of understanding what are the methods that are used in uh, map logic and what are the methods that are used in the reducer logic. So these things for mapper logic, I think, which we have covered. Don't worry, we will see number of examples uh, so that you can get a better idea what exactly the use of various methods which we have discussed so far, which are used in mapper logic. Similarly, the reducer logic and as well as the driver function also. So slowly you can adapt by understanding all these mechanisms. Okay. So don't worry to now. My screen is visible to everyone. Is it visible to everyone? Okay. 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 All right. As you all aware of that, whatever the input that you want to analyze, for example word count problem if you are taking, so for that you can consider a dictionary as an input, or a textbook, big data textbook is an input to your program. And so by taking your textbook as an input, from that you will try to count the number of words, in the sense the word which how many number of times it was repeated in the textbook that you are supposed to be display as an output. So why I'm telling here, why I'm taking textbook as an input, in the sense it contains thousands of words, right? Because here our intention is we want to analyze the big data in the sense huge volume of data, rather than simply a line of text or a text document which contains 100 lines or 1000 lines, right? So we want to think in such a way. So for that purpose, I was taken the big data textbook as an input. Okay, so how that big data textbook will be processed, and finally how it will be displayed, the result in the sense, in the result every word will act as a key, and followed by the value is how many number of times it was repeated in the textbook. So in such a way you are supposed to produce the output. Okay, so now let us keep it that assumption in your brain, and we will start discussing how to write the code for this particular application, and how do we get the output for it. Okay, so before going to discuss about the writing of mapper logic and the reducer logic, one should understand the functionality of combiner. Okay, so simply a combiner is also known as a semi reducer. It is an optional class. If you want to use, you can use it. Just it is a optimization technique. Okay, and that operates by accepting the inputs from the map class and thereafter passing the output key value pairs to the reducer class. So what exactly the use of this combiner function is? Usually there are several mapper logics will produce the intermediary outputs. What actually we have to do is, all the intermediary outputs that are produced by the mapper logics need to be supplied to the reducer function. Okay, so if both of them are running in the same system, you may not find an issue, but sometimes, for majority of the cases, the mapper logic will be running at one system and the reducer logic may be run at another system due to utilization of the resources and load balancing mechanisms. So in that case, what happens, say for example, mapper logic is running in India and reducer logic is running at USA. Imagine. So for each and every line of output produced by the mapper logic need to be transmitted via a network from India to USA. So you can imagine how many number of, as long as if the file size, input file size is large, then definitely the mapper logic will also produce a significant amount of intermediary outputs. So all these outputs need to be transmitted to the reducer function as an input. So in that case, what happens is, each and every time traveling every output from here to there will consumes the network bandwidth. It creates a lot of traffic in the network. Due to that traffic in the computer networks, you might have studied about collisions and all. Okay, so your data may be corrupted. So these kind of problems may be arising. That is different issue. So here our intention is, if they will consume the, or always they will make the network busy with the communication between your mapper system and the reducer system by passing the intermediary output values. So what we have to do? Anyway, we need to supply the mapper outputs as an inputs to the reducer. So what we can do is, instead of transmitting all individual outputs to the reducer logic, we can do in another way is by grouping all the things. By grouping all the things, okay, that means you just apply the little bit consolidation process here itself, and then you can transmit the whole bunch as a single instance. What happens in that case? Too many communications are going to be reduced. Instead of 10 times you are going to be transmit in between, travel the data in between the mapper system and the reducer system, you can make it as a single unit, and if you transmit it with the one transmission, you are able to transmit all your data from your system to, mapper logic system to reducer logic system. So there it will be used. So the combiner function, which is used to combine the output produced by the mapper logics, right? I'll show you diagrammatically how it will be. So here you can observe this diagram. These are the inputs supplied to the M stands for mapper logic. Here M stands for mapper logic, and each mapper logic will produce a set of either 0 or number of intermediary key value pairs. Intermediary key value pairs, right? So here in this case, it will not produce any output, 0 output, but here it produces the three outputs. For same key, it produces two different values. For another key, it produces the one value. Similarly, all other also, right? So now here what we can do here itself is the combiner phase is we just group by all these things by key. That means, so here key one, K1 is the key one. Okay, so K1 followed by, see, in order to distinguish all these things, value 1, value 2, you can write like this, right? All the values which are associated to the K1 will be grouped together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 V's. Of course, don't think that here is only 4 V's, right? So we need to be right here 6 V's because 6 times it was repeated in the intermediary mapper outputs, right? So similarly, based on the key, here our intention is we'll make them into a group based on the key. So whatever the values that are associated with all these keys are grouped together and make it as a single unit. Okay, so all these single unit will be supplied to the reducer logic. This will be supplied as one unit, this will be supplied as like that. So that instead of transmitting for each and every transmission, so if it is the case, it need to transmit 3 times this data, right? So you can calculate in such a way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Total 14 transmissions are required between mapper logic and the reducer logic. Instead of that, we are able to minimize it to the 5. Instead of 16 transmissions, we can minimize it to the 5 transmissions so that it reduces the traffic in between these two. Too many communications between mapper logic and the reducer logic. That is the advantage of combiner phase, right? This is an optional. This is not a mandatory. Mapper logic is mandatory, reducer logic is mandatory. But whereas combiner phase, whenever if you want to optimize your solution, that means your solution is going to produce the outputs by using less amount of time. In that cases, you can use, depends upon your interest. But what it does is, it just simply group by the values. Group the values by using key. Which values it is going to be grouped? Only the intermediary outputs produced by the mappers. So that is the reason why we are calling it as a semi-reducer. Semi-reducer. Because some of the tasks that need to be performed by the reducer is going to be reduced. Am I right or wrong? Because these all the things need to be performed by this reducer logic. Instead of doing that in reducer logic, what we did, we can do the same in the combiner phase, and we will submit the output of this combiner phase and input to the reducer, so that we are able to minimize the interactions between too many interactions between mapper outputs and reducer. At the same time, we can minimize the overload in the reducer logic, because from this it is able to calculate the counting of these things. It will not take much more time for this reducer logic. Am I right or wrong? Instead of grouping all the things and then it starts calculating, okay, so that won't be happen here. Simply it counts the how many number of times it was repeated and that output will be produced. Like that all other reducers, right? In such a way it reduces the burden on the reducer logic also. Hope you all clear with this combiner function or not? Is it clear to everybody? Combiner function. Or you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. If you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. Is it clear or not? At least somebody respond within a chat box. Is it clear or not? Combiner function. Nobody is there. So that is about combiner logic. Now let us see how this combiner works. Is a combiner does not have any predefined interface, and it must implement the reducer interfaces reduce method. As the way for the mapper logic we have map reduce base that implements mapper logic. Similarly, the reducer logic, you don't have any kind of predefined interface in such a way. Okay, but instead of that, it need to be implemented. The reducer interfaces reduce method, right? That means within that you can write the code. Okay, because that is the reason why we are calling it as a semi-reducer. Because half of the responsibility of the reducer will be done by using combiner. The combiner operates on each map output key. It must have the same output key value types as the reducer classes, right? Because it acts as a part of the reducer logic. So that is the reason whatever the output that the combiner produce, the final reducer output format also be the same type. But when you are talking about the mapper logic, the input key value formats may not be same as the intermediary key value outputs. That is first point. And okay, so but here in the reducer case or combiner is a part of the reducer. That means part of the reducer means it implements the certain responsibilities of the reducer, certain functionality of the reducer with the help of combiner. So that's why I am calling it as a part of reducer, but it is not physically part of it, right? So whatever the input format, that means intermediary mapper outputs will be converted into some format, some XY format. Okay, so that XY format should be same as the final reducer output. That is very important point. Okay, otherwise what happens, suppose if the combiner function is producing an output some XY format, but the final reducer output will be produced as YZ format. What happens in that case? There is a clash between the outputs which we are expecting and the outputs which we are produced is entirely different. So that is the reason, make sure that the output format of the combiner function should be same as the outputs of reducer function also. Formats, here we are talking about formats. The combiner can produce summary information from a large data set because it replaces the original map output, right? This is the original map output. Instead of that, it supplies by modifying these original input into some other format, right? So just it is a summary of the information which is produced by all these mapper logics, right? So although a combiner is an optional, but it helps segregating data into multiple groups for reduced phase. So which makes it easier to process, as we have discussed. Okay, so it will help you to reduce the processing time. Now let us see an example program how this combiner function, and how do we write the mapper logic, and how do we write the reducer logic for the word count problem, right? So here the following, this is an example. Don't we assume that only 3 lines of code. Just for understanding only, we have taken 2-3 lines of code, right? From this, what we are expecting, we need to find out how many number of times each word is repeated in the whole document. Here, if you are talking about what was repeated? 3 times. Java was repeated 2 times, right? Like that, whatever the number of words which are present in each line will be counted, and finally we are supposed to produce the how many number of times a particular word is repeated in the given input file. So here, for better understanding only, I was taken 3 lines. Here our intention is we want to process the huge volume of data. That means if you are talking about a BDA textbook, probably it contains 1000 pages. Let us assume that each page may contain 30 to 40 lines. So that means overall it will contain 30,000 or 40,000 of lines if the textbook total number of pages are 1,000. Okay, just imagine. So among the 40,000 lines of text, we'll try to count how many, how many number of times a word is repeated among those 40,000 lines of code. In such a way you can imagine, right? So now let us see what is happening and what way we can write the mapper logic, what way we can write the combiner logic and reducer logic, right? So now our intention is, this is the input which is given to you, and what you are supposed to produce? You are supposed to produce how many number of times a word is repeated in the given input. So that is the output you are supposed to produce. Now, as you all aware of that, the mapper method will accept the inputs in the form of key value pairs, and it will produce the output is also in the form of key value pairs. But here it was given as lines of text. So how do we convert it into key value pairs? Right? So that is the reason first step is we'll use the record reader. So the job of this record reader is it need to be convert the given input into key value pairs. Right? So it takes the input file as a text and it produces the output as key value pairs. So in this case, this is the text. Okay, this will be supplied to the record reader. What record reader does is these text will be converted it into key value pairs. For example, the output will be like this. First line, that means a key will be assigned to this, value will be like this. 2. Like that, it will assign the line numbers to each and every line. Okay. Last thing. Okay. This is also be a line in the given input. Due to space constraint, it was okay. Right? These are the 4 lines. So for each and every line, the record reader will assign key value to all these things. Right? So initially, whatever the format that it was given to you, given to the mapper logic, that need to be converted it into key value pairs, because the mapper logics are able to process if the data is in the form of key value pairs only. So that will be done with the help of record reader object, right? So what it does is it reads every line from the input text file as a text and yields the output as key value pairs, right? So in such a way, it is going to be converted into key value pairs. So now what happens after converting the input into key value pairs? Now it is the time to submit it to the mapper logic. So what you are supposed to do in the mapper logic, say for example, this first line is submitted to the mapper logic. So what it does, it need to take each and every word as a key. First it need to extract the line. From that, it extracts the first word and it will be considered as key, and initially it will be assigned with a value. For example, if this first line is submitted to the mapper logic, what mapper logic does is simply it captures the word. First it captures the first line and then it captures the first word, and what it produces as an output is what 1, comma, next word is do 1, comma, mean, comma, about, what is it? By, sorry, Java, sorry, object. What do you mean by an object, right? So this is the output which we are expecting. So this is the intermediary output produced by the mapper logic when you submit this information as an input. So here what it does, it extracts the each and every word from the line and it will assign with a count value. Like that, all other lines are also be supplied as an input to the different map logics. Each mapper logic will produce the output in this fashion. Say for example, so mapper 1 logic, if you submit the first line as this particular mapper, what is the output it produce? This is the output which it produce, right? Similarly, the second mapper will produce the output, third mapper, like that. All these mappers will produce the output by taking these 4 lines. That means 4 lines will be supplied as an input to the 4 mappers. They are supposed to produce the output in such a way. Right? Is it clear or not? Okay. So you have to write the code to produce the output in this format. Now for that, what we have to do is, so you just observe the code here itself. Public static class tokenizer mapper extends mapper logic. Okay. Mapper method, which will take 4 parameters. One is for input key value and another 2 are meant for output key value. Okay. Now here you need to understand, once again recollect an important point regarding this particular one is, once the key value, once the record reader job is over, once the record reader job, what is the job of the record reader? It need to be convert the given text into key value page, right? Once this process is done, next step is the input need to be split it into blocks, and each block will be distributed to the data nodes where the mapper logic is going to be run. So here we'll be split it into 4 parts, and first part we will supply it to the mapper 1, second part will be supplied to the mapper 2, third one will be supplied to mapper 3, and fourth one will be supplied to mapper 4. In such a way, we will assign, we will distribute. Assume that all these 4 mappers are running at 4 different systems, right? As you are aware of that. So once you submit your job to the name node, after verifying all the required things in the sense, the job tracker has to do some housekeeping activities before starting the execution, as we have discussed in the Hadoop API for the MapReduce framework, right? So that means allocating job ID, creating jar files, verifying the resources. If you're talking about Yarn MapReduce framework, once you submit your job, the job tracker will redirect it to the name node and resource manager and application master. They will together look at the completion of your job itself. Okay. So for that purpose, the name node, once you submit the application to the name node in turn it will be split it into blocks, and those blocks will be assigned to the data nodes. So data nodes are the responsible for physically storing the blocks which are assigned to the data nodes and running those jobs. Running those jobs in the sense, so those blocks should be submitted as an input to the mapper logic, that is which we are going to be developed. Okay. And whatever the outputs that it produce, those will be written into the local file system, and they will be considered as intermediary output keys. This flow you are supposed to be clear always, because it is very essential to understand the concepts. So the flow, that means how do we submit the job, how it is going to be distributed, okay, and then how it will be executed, where it will be executed, what way it will be executed. These things you should be very clear. Then only you are able to understand the remaining topics. Okay. In this understanding this flow, if you have any queries, you can ask. Even if necessary, we will spend 1 more hour to discuss all these things, because it is very, very essential to understand the further concepts and even big data. Okay. Feel free to ask the questions while understanding the flow. Anybody is having any query? You can ask. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. don't know whether you are able to follow it or not. Right. So here, this is the first statement in the mapper logic. This is the name of the class which you can assign. Okay. So in the first example, maximum temperature example, there we have discussed configuration dot set mapper class followed by maximum temperature mapper dot class. So here, whatever the name that you have given, that the class file for this one will be created with this name only. Okay. So what are the parameters that it requires is 4 parameters. The first two are represents the input key, input value. Similarly, the third one represents the output key data type, and fourth one represents the output value format. Okay. Now here I was created one object, an integer object. Okay, and the word is a text object. Now let us see how this mapper logic will capture or will extract word by word from the input block which it is allocated for this one, and how it counts the words we will see in this mapper logic. Right. So here object key, the map method, here also it requires 4 parameters. So here, instead of output collector, here I used context. As we have discussed in the yarn, yarn provides of creating contexts in the various contexts. Here in our context, this is meant for writing the outputs. Okay, this is the context that we are supposed to use this context object now itself. Right, it throws the IO exception. Now here I was created an iterator, string tokenizer iterator. What it does is it captures the first line. I mean, it represents the first line itself. That means the ITR points the starting point of the line which you have submitted as an input to this particular map method. Right. Now while ITR has more tokens, word dot set iterator dot next token. Iterator dot next token. So what it does is it extracts the first word. Okay, and that will be considered, and the value one here, what is the value that we have assigned to this? Only 1. So whatever the word that it was captured or extracted, for that it will be placed in the output as the word. The word in the sense, here we'll see. I will copy this. This is the input submitted to this mapper logic. Okay, so from this, initially iterator is pointing at this location. Okay, once it captures this word, that word will be written to the output where the intermediate, where it will be stored. You just remember that all mapper outputs will be stored in the local file system where it is running. Where it was running? It is running in the data node, because this input split is stored in the data node on which this mapper logic is going to be executed. Okay, and so after executing the first step, what it displays is what is the output that it was written into the local file system is what one value is 1 only. Here we have declared like that. Okay, we'll assign 1 to the object 1. So that is the reason here it will be displayed what 1. After that, the loop has repeated, iterated, and the iterator points the next word. Okay, it will be accessed. Then the context, it writes the output into the dispatch. Next, like that, this process is repeated until till the end of no more tokens are present in the given input, right? Is it clear or not? What way the mapper logic will be executed and what way? See here, this code is purely your analytical skill itself. You can write this the same, you can write a different code for the same application, no issue. Okay, so here this is the code meant for producing the output in that way. Here what way you are supposed to produce the output? You just read line by line. I mean, you just read word by word, and you are supposed to be store the count. First word followed by the count, second word. In order to produce that kind of output, you may write your own logic, no issue. You did not follow the same logic for producing the output. Here our intention is what way we are supposed to be extracted the words and what way we can write the count of it. That's it, right? So after executing this program, so 4 mapper logics will produce the output in this way. What one, do one. These are the key value pairs. Key value pairs, intermediary key value pairs produced by the mapper logic. Mapper logic. Okay, this is called as mapper code. This whole code is called as mapper code, right? And now this is the output produced by this one. Now what we have to do with the combiner function? What combiner function will do? Just simply it groups by the key value. That means by taking all these inputs, what it is supposed to produce the output? For example, how it will be grouped is what? Okay. What are the values? 1, 1, 1, 1. How many number of times it was repeated? 3 times. Right? What? I'm sure I'm correct, right? Okay. Like that, for each and every key, whatever the values that are associated. For example, if we are talking about U, how many number of times it was repeated? Only 2 times, right? Like Java, this one and this one, right? Like that, for each and every, here the word will be considered as a key, and whatever the value that was associated with this, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, these are the values. So here what it did is, it groups all the values by using the key. For example, what was repeated 3 times. So this, in such a way, it will produce the output. In such a way, it will group the values by using the key. Right? So this is the output it is supposed to be produced. Right? The combiner function. So here you can observe the code. So this is the code for. So this way you can write the statement in your driver code for running the mapper logic. Job dot. Here job is the object of job configuration object. Okay. Job dot set mapper class is tokenizer mapper. This is the name of the mapper class. Right? Make sure that it is a case sensitive. Right? While specifying the class names, ensure that wherever you are using capital letters in your program, the same way you can write here also. Right? Tokenizer mapper dot class. Similarly, job set combiner class. So here, whatever the reducer class name that we have used, the same will be used for the combiner class also. So this is very important point here itself. Whatever the definition for it, right? Whatever the class that you have specified for the reducer, the same will be used for the combiner class also. Don't worry, we'll see the reducer definition also. Right? Now, this is the output produced by the combiner class, combiner object. Now what we have, this input will be, so this will be supplied as an input to the reducer phase. What reducer phase is supposed to do? So what followed by, it simply counts the how many values are present in it. how many number of times the values are present. Here 3 times it was repeated, so this will be added. That means finally what we are supposed to produce, what and how many number of times it was repeated? 3. Sorry. So this is the output which we are expecting from the reducer function. Here you just remember that whatever the format combiner should be same as the reducer output also. The one will be the value, and first one type is text. Here also the first parameter should be text and second parameter of integer value. So both the output formats should be same. Both the output means combiner output and as well as reducer output format should be. In such a way, we are expecting the output from the reducer class. So for that, what we have to do is we need to write the code, how to count all those things, right? Here, the name of the reducer class is int sum reducer. Int sum reducer. You can observe itself, right? So why I'm repeating the same number of times is, while writing your own application, you are supposed to keep it in your brain, like while writing the class names. Okay, so they should be same. The same should be specified in the job configuration object in the driver code itself. Now, here result is of type integer, and it takes public void reduce. It takes text key as an input, and iterable is an output values, because here the set of values will be there. So from this we need to do something. So this reason it was defined it as a iterable of type integer values. Okay, so that means there are set of values, integer values are present over there. So we need to traverse one after another. So that is the format of the value. Okay, and context. Here the context is we want to write the final outputs into the output location where you have specified, which you have specified in the driver code. That is output.txt, output dot some other file, that output one.txt, like that. Whatever the output path that you have specified in the driver code on which these outputs are going to be written, right? Now let us see. For int writable value from values, okay, sum plus is equals to val dot get. That means we just simply add one after another, and finally produce the result dot set of this sum. So finally, what we are supposed to write? Key. Key means here key is the word, and what we did, we'll find out the sum of all these values. Sum of all these values, and that will be supplied as value. Result dot set is equal to sum. This calculated sum will be set to the, assigned to the result. The same will be written in the output location, which is specified by the driver code by using the context object. Right? Now, record writer. So this is the last phase of MapReduce, where the record writer writes every key value pair from the reducer phase and sends the output as text. Right? Record reader will read the input and convert it into the key value pairs, whereas record writer will convert your final key value output pairs into text. Right? So the record writer this is the final phase. So what it produces output is what 3, like that, right? Because right. So in such a way, here we need to write the main code, main program also. For this, you can think in the main, for the main program, what we have to do, we need to set the job name, job class, input format, file input format dot set input path of input path, file output format dot set output path of output path. Similarly, job dot set mapper class of the mapper class name and as well as the reducer class name, and then you need to set the output key class and as well as output value class. Finally, you can submit the, you can write the, you can run the run method. So that is the code which you are supposed to write it in the driver code. Don't worry, we will see in the next class that part also, and we will discuss some other examples regarding this MapReduce also. So what I mean to clear itself is, for every program we need to write 3 different codes. One is mapper logic, reducer logic, and driver code. Okay, and a record reader is used for converting given input text into key value pairs. Record writer is used to converting final output which is in the form of key value pairs into text. Okay, now if you are not using any reducer function, what happens in that case? All the intermediate, yes, yes, 29. Okay, right. So if there is no reducer logic you have implemented, what happens in that case? All the intermediary outputs which are stored in the local file system will be considered as final outputs, because there is no other mechanism which you have defined. Will it possible or not? Yes, sometimes you need not require any kind of consolidation process. Directly, whatever the output produced by the mapper logic will be considered as final output. In that case, you need not write any reducer logic. With the help of mapper logic, directly you can write the outputs into the output path which it was specified in the driver logic itself. Hope you all clear. And then if a single reducer task is available, a number of mapper logics are there, single reducer task will be there. But in that case, what happens? All the outputs of the mapper logics will be grouped together either by using a combiner function or with some other mechanism, and finally all those outputs will be supplied as an input to the reducer logic. In that case also, now whatever the example that we have seen, which uses only single reducer method. Now instead of 0 or single reducer logics are running for your application, if you try to use 2 reducer logics, 2 or more. So for better understanding, here I was considered only 2. So in that case, what you have to do? You need to be partition the outputs of mapper. Somebody has raised a hand. Yeah, you tell me, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. 83. 83. Are you there or not? Somebody has raised a hand. Do you have any query? At least say yes or no. When I call a roll number, if you are not related to that particular aspect, you just respond with no. Or if you have any queries, you can say yes. Otherwise, it is wasting of time, you know. I don't know whether you have a doubt or not. If you have a doubt, yes, you can ask, no issue. If it is not, unfortunately, if you press the raise hand or something else buttons, so you just drop a message so that I can understand and I can continue my session. 83, are you there? Roll number 83, are you there or not? Unmute yourself. 83. 83. Okay, I'll mark it as an absent, no issue. If you're not present over there, physically not present will not give count. Right. So in our case, if you are using two or more reducer logics, what happens is whatever the total number of intermediary outputs, for example, 10 outputs are there, two reducer logics. What we have to do, these 10 intermediary outputs need to be partitioned. Right? We are supposed to implement the partitioner logic. With that, we can partition the mapper outputs into different partition groups, and those partition groups will be supplied to the number of reducers. So always the partition groups should be same as the number of reducer tasks. So in our consideration, we have considered only two reducer logics. So that's why irrespective of the size of the mapper outputs, you need to be make it into only two groups, and one group will be submitted to one reducer and another one will be submitted to another reducer. So there you will have a control. User will have a control which group need to be submitted to which reducer logic. So that you will have a control, you can specify. Okay, whatever you have specified, according to that, it will be submitted to the reducer logic. So this is something about how to write mapper logic, mapper code, reducer code, and driver code. We will see another 2-3 examples on this, because we need to we need to get some sort of understanding, better understanding on this context, so that we can understand the remaining things in an easy way. Right? So any queries? Any queries? Hope you all clear with what we are supposed to do when we are developing a solution for the for an application using MapReduce program, Paradiddm. Or if you have any queries, you can ask. Any queries? Okay. I will end the session and we will discuss the remaining things in the next class. Thank you.